Imagine two people entering their 30s with similar salaries and roughly the same amount of money saved. One spends the next decade trying to find the perfect investment, buying when markets feel exciting, selling when they become uncomfortable, and promising to invest more once their salary gets higher. The other person does something much less exciting. Every month, a percentage of income automatically moves into a diversified portfolio. Contributions increase whenever income rises, fees stay low, and market headlines are mostly ignored. For the first few years, the difference between these two people might seem small, but give the system enough time and their financial lives can begin moving in completely different directions. That is because the smartest way to invest in your 30s usually has less to do with discovering an extraordinary investment and more to do with building a structure that consistently turns income into assets. Your 30s are especially important because two forces begin competing for the same money. Your income may finally be increasing, but your lifestyle is becoming more expensive at exactly the same time. Better apartments become houses, basic transportation becomes nicer cars, relationships become families, and raises quietly become subscriptions, vacations, furniture, and larger monthly payments. None of these expenses are automatically bad, but they create a psychological trap. You can earn significantly more at 38 than you did at 28 and still have almost nothing additional available to invest. The solution begins with protecting your investment rate before your lifestyle absorbs every raise. Instead of focusing only on a fixed dollar amount, think about the percentage of income being converted into assets. If you earn $60,000 and invest 10%, that is $6,000 a year. If your income eventually rises to $90,000 but your investments remain at $6,000, your savings rate has actually fallen to about 6.7%. Your income improved, but your wealth-building system became weaker relative to your earnings. Increasing contributions alongside income prevents that invisible decline. Then there is the most valuable asset people in their 30s possess: time. Suppose a 30-year-old invests $500 every month until age 65. Using a hypothetical 7% annual return for illustration, not as a prediction, those contributions could eventually grow to roughly $900,000. The investor personally contributes only $210,000 over those 35 years, meaning a large portion of the hypothetical ending value comes from compounded growth. Now delay the exact same strategy until age 40. Investing $500 per month for 25 years at the same hypothetical return produces closer to $400,000. The 10-year delay did not simply remove $60,000 of contributions. It removed a decade in which the earliest investments could have been earning returns, followed by returns on those returns. Markets are uncertain, and actual returns will never arrive in a perfectly smooth line, but the mathematical advantage of having more time is extremely difficult to replace later. This is also why investing in your 30s does not necessarily need to be complicated. Instead of trying to predict which individual company will dominate the next 20 years, diversified funds can spread exposure across hundreds or even thousands of businesses. Diversification will not prevent losses when markets decline, but it reduces dependence on any single company being correct. Low fees matter for the same reason. A fee that looks tiny today repeatedly removes money that otherwise could remain invested and compound for decades. Account selection matters too. Depending on where you live, retirement and investment accounts may offer different tax advantages. In the United States, workplace retirement plans and IRAs can provide benefits that ordinary taxable accounts do not, subject to their respective rules and limits. If an employer offers matching contributions, understanding that benefit can be especially important. The objective is not simply to choose investments. It is to decide which financial container allows those investments to operate efficiently. High-interest debt deserves the same mathematical treatment. If a credit card is charging 20% interest, eliminating that balance avoids a known financing cost, while investment returns remain uncertain. That does not mean every form of debt should always be eliminated before investing, because interest rates, employer matches, taxes, and personal circumstances matter. But it does mean debt and investing should be considered together rather than as completely separate decisions. Eventually, the smartest investment strategy becomes surprisingly boring, Maintain liquidity for emergencies, control expensive debt, use appropriate tax-advantaged accounts, capture available employer benefits, own diversified assets at reasonable costs, automate contributions, and increase those contributions as income grows. Then give the system time. Your 30s can create a strange psychological pressure because this is often when people around you begin displaying visible signs of financial progress. Someone buys a larger house, someone else drives a better car, and another person seems to travel constantly. Investments are different because much of their progress is invisible. An additional $500 invested this month does not dramatically change your lifestyle tomorrow. But that invisibility is precisely the point. During your 30s, you are gradually shifting from a financial life powered almost entirely by your labor toward one in which accumulated capital begins contributing alongside you. At first, your contributions do most of the work. Eventually, if markets provide long-term growth and you remain invested, the portfolio itself can become increasingly important.